This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that turns your financial statements into impactful graphs that help you see your business trends to make sure you're not headed for a cash flow, profitability, or productivity issue. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here's how we will help your business and you. It's June, and probably many of you are still complaining about how much you paid in taxes and vow never to do that again. What if you had 6 things to do today to legally reduce your taxes? My guest today, Mike Milligan, Certified Financial Planner and founder of One Oak Financial, gives you some strategies that can help you now. Mike, welcome to Contractor Sense.
It's so glad to be with you today, Ruth.
It's my pleasure. So, nobody likes paying taxes. Okay, let's start there. We have to pay our legal amount of taxes, but there are ways that we can do things to reduce that legal bill. Correct?
There are, and it's something that when I founded our firm, One Oak Financial, it's one of the things that I believe wholeheartedly that the biggest impact a financial planning firm can have is through tax planning, tax strategy. Because if our clients, there's only one, we only can make, we can't stretch a dollar, right? A dollar is not a rubber band. And so every dollar that we earn gets sliced up, and taxes is normally the biggest chunk of that cost. And if we can reduce that chunk of the dollar that goes out in taxes, it gives us more money to do things like save for the future, fund our lifestyle, provide growth in our business. And that's ultimately what we want to do, is we want to find the legal ways to reduce the amount we owe to the IRS and the state government where we operate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to point out to everybody, you've actually implemented this yourself because you moved to Puerto Rico, correct?
I did. And, contractors, if you want to, one of my friends down in Puerto Rico, if you want to see an inspiration who, as a contractor, is doing some amazing work, they've done this work in the United States, but they've also done it in Puerto Rico. The flip flop flipper, Robert and his son are licensed contractors who have moved to the island to take advantage of the tax code, right, to be able to grow. But they're also doing major work, right? Just because you use the tax code in your favor, it does not make you a bad person. It makes you a really good business person. And a lot of great builders, contractors, those who are doing the work, there's quality in the job that they are known for. And, in having a professional like us, right? Like you, Ruth, who are helping with profit and loss, and with us who are helping with tax strategies, retirement, investments, long-term care, and legacy, is it's just part of having a good team in place. We just act like your subcontractors, like you would hire to do some of the detail work in your homes that you're building on. That's what we are. We subcontract for your business to help reduce expenses, so you actually get to keep more of your money.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a few of them. I know one of the major things is the form of your business, correct?
It is. And see, most people, as they are growing a business, especially a cash business like contractors work on, they do work, they collect revenue, they use that revenue to pay for the material, to pay for those who help them do the work, and then there's a profit. But structure is important, right? How you operate, either as like a limited liability corp, with the S corp status, right, where you take where you take an actual salary from your company. See, that type of structure, that type of legal organization helps you reduce the amount of tax you pay for Social Security, Medicare. It can help reduce the state and federal tax that you actually have to owe. And then it opens the door for some of the other deductions that you can take along the way. most people when they start, they have a skill, right, that they just want to monetize, especially who are contractors and builders. So they just set up as either like a sole proprietor or an LLC and forget the rest of the work that goes on. And then at the end of the year, they're like, man, why did I spend 30 cents of the dollar I earned in profit on taxes? And a lot of that is federal tax, Social Security, and Medicare, just because it wasn't properly structured.
All right. So do you help with that, or is that legal?
Oh no, we definitely help with that. If it gets beyond us because of your state requirements, we'll definitely bring in an attorney. But the ability to set up a LLC is done with the state corporate commission where you live. Making sure the documentation's in place is definitely part of what we do. We have attorneys on retainer with our company who helps if we need to bring them in. But then the tax planning and the structure is what we ultimately want to help you and your CPA do together. And if you don't have a great CPA doing taxes or a great bookkeeper keeping, there are places like we can lead you to, like Ruth, for instance, like her company, right? Who has great technology in place and can take what is a daunting task, right, and make it simple for you. We make sure like companies like Ruth's, if you need somebody local to where you are because you're not comfortable work vertical, we'll help you find somebody
Yeah, or
for
I
that.
can help them find it too. Either one.
Absolutely, Ruth. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we take a break, give everybody how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, I would love to. The easiest way to do is on your phone, go into text messaging, and for the phone number, just put 600700 600 700. And in the message, put the word ideas. That's all you have to do. So text to 600 700 the word ideas, IDEAS. It'll send me a text, and then I'll be able to reach out to you where we can schedule a time. Or if you want to learn more about me, go to MikeMilligan.com. That's MikeMilligan.com.
We will be right back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense.
Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, I can't, are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I am speaking with Mike Milligan, who is a certified financial planner and founder of One Oak Financial. And before the break, we started talking about some of the things that you can do now to legally reduce your taxes. Now, the thing we're talking about this in June. I know for some of you it's going to get really, really, really busy, but the reality of it is if you wait until September, it's almost too late. If it's December, I know it's too late to do anything about it, and you're going to end up with another big tax bill next year. So why not do something now to help you pay less taxes? So Mike, let's get into some of the six.
Yeah, so like we talked a little bit about structure before, but there's some other things that, especially in the contractors world, I mean, who doesn't love, I mean, you either like, like people who love one product or the others, you either love a good Ford truck or you love a good Chevy truck, right? And
Well,
for
some of them are not either one of those, but anyway, go ahead.
right. Yeah, but the majority are the two of those, right? And that, if you buy a business truck, right, over 6,000 pounds, you've probably heard about this deduction before where the actual company can buy it as a business expense for you. That's just, in legal terms, that's just a Section 179 deduction. And there are other things that you can do other than just buy a work truck with that, by the way. There's other equipment you can buy. There's other technology you can put in place to use $1 and not pay $1 on taxes on that and get that tax deduction. So like equipment, automobiles, Section 7179 deductions is a way that in your contracting business, if we have the conversation from a tax planning standpoint before you make it, we can make sure that the maximum deduction is taken for that. So that's one of the primary strategies. Number two, most contractors, right, have if they're builders, they have a home, right? They have a team that they work with also, but they also have these meetings. They'll have meetings with their team, whether they're pre-morning production, meetings, who's going to do what job, or, they talk about big projects, big dreams, growing the business together. There's a rule out there called the Augusta rule that allows people in Augusta, Georgia to rent their homes out for 2 weeks per year, primarily during the Masters golf tournament. And whoever rents their home for the cost, the owners of the home get to keep that money, that rental money, tax free. They don't have to pay any tax on it. And what that Augusta rule was put in place because there's not a lot of hotels in Augusta, Georgia for this big, for the big tournament that comes every year. So because Augusta, Georgia landowners, real estate owners can take that, so can you. If you live in Sacramento, you live in Houston, Texas, you live in Peoria, Illinois, or Madison, Wisconsin, you too can take the deduction. Now, you have to properly document it, but this Augusta rule allows you to take revenue from your business, host meeting or client events at your house. And when you do that up to 14 times per year, the cost to host that meeting becomes fully tax deductible to your business and tax free to you as a profit. Now, there's some documentations things you have to do to make that work, but that's there. So we have structure of your business primarily is the first tax strategy. Number two, Section 179 and bonus depreciation on automobiles and equipment. Number three is the Augusta rule. Number four is you have to start looking at ways. You have to look at the ways that you pay yourself and your family members. So let's say you're married, right? And you have children at home. There's this whole idea of a family management company that's been in the tax code for a long time, where you can pay your children to do some small task in your business that your kids can have that money tax-free as a deduction from your business and use their individual standard deduction so that money's tax-free. Now, what a lot of people think is, man, why would I just give my kids my money? Well, the tax code doesn't prevent you from using the money you get out of your business to your kids. It doesn't prevent you from using it for expenses of your household. It doesn't say that your kids have to invest the money. It does not say that that money is locked in your kids forever. You can have your kids pay the light bill, the gas bill, the utility bills of the house, and you could do it with tax-free money. So the family management company is a structure that many people talk about and try to overcomplicate on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, but it's really an easy structure to put in place to reduce money. And then, Ruth, there are other strategies along the way that include like geographic arbitrage that, it's hard for a contractor to work remotely, right? It's hard for them to be in Puerto Rico and build in Ohio or Tennessee or Georgia. But there are other strategies along the way to do that. And then the last strategy, other than geographic arbitrage, is planning for your future. Using the tax code to put revenue today that you don't need to live on away for your future in maximum dollars so that one day when you get tired, you can retire. And so, we talk about those with contractors. We love working with contractors because I use stories in my business all the time. And like the work you do as a contractor is a work that I do as a financial planner. See, we know that anybody can go buy that dream lot, and they can easily go over to the Home Depot and do it themselves, right? But that's not what people do with your profession. they hire an architect, and they decide on where everything's going to go. And then they hire you, the builder, the contractor, who hire subcontractors who, by the way, either go to the Home Depot or some building place. So the end result's the same, lot to supplies. That's what we are. We are you. We a financial planner, a firm like us is you. We build things that give value, that make dreams come true, that are the bedrock of community. So, Ruth, we love working with contractors. We love helping to take complex financial things and explain them in simple terms. And ultimately, we love helping them save money so that they can keep more of it and go out and live a one-of-a-kind life, but because their work is meaningful and they deserve that.
Very good. Mike, give everybody the text number again and your website, please.
Yeah, so text to 600-700. So just on your phone, instead of texting the area code and all that, just put the number 600-700. And in the message, just put IDEAS, 5 letters, IDEAS. It'll come directly to me and I'll reach out to you. Or you can go to my website. It's MikeMilligan.com, MikeMilligan. And that's where you'll learn about my philosophy to educate, coach, and plan. And you can learn more about One Oak Financial there.
Mike, thanks so much for being with us.
It was great, Ruth.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money, too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.